Hello and welcome to the AllMadeUp podcast with me, Harry Stakini.
Me, Lewis Coleman.
And me, Ben Hart.
The show where each week a guest joins us in the writer's room to create a story like you and we have never heard before. Think of it as a storytelling adventure.
I like that. Well done.
Yeah, it's getting there, isn't it? And our guest this week is Lewis. Please tell the listeners, the watchers.
It is the wonderful, beautiful Clementine Bogg-Hargroves. She is an actor, writer, producer, all-round creator, and all-round good egg, as you described.
I'd say that, yeah.
And as well as that, my girlfriend.
Yeah.
And your girlfriend.
Who will be joining us on the couch very soon.
Yeah, very excited to have her on.
I'd say the real talent behind the podcast, to be honest.
Yeah, well, she is technically a co-producer of the podcast. Me and Clementine set up Get Giddier, which is a production company which produces this pod, produces sitcoms, stand-up theatre, all sorts. So, yeah, she is a driving force behind a lot of this. Would you agree?
And a shit-hot actor.
Yeah, shit-hot. Yeah, she's been doing her play Skank for about 4 years now, took it all over the country, done really, really well, and now she's working on her next show, which is Please Love Me, which is taken to the Edinburgh Fringe this year, which you will also be going to, Harry, with your show.
I will be going to the Edinburgh Fringe as well, and I'm very excited to see Clem's show because the first show she did, Skank, which for months and months and months I kept calling Shank.
And Spank.
And Spank,
Yeah. Something on the mind, I reckon, maybe, yeah.
I remember seeing that at the Salford Arms, King's Arms in Salford.
Yes.
And it was absolutely spot on.
Well, that was very early days as well.
Yeah. And then to see where that's kind of gone from that point to kind of, well, when she did Edinburgh, like Sam Mendes, you know, who made like 1917, came to watch Clem's show, which I think is like, that's mad.
And Andy clapped at the end as well. He enjoyed it. He stayed. You know what I mean? It's one thing him coming, but it's another thing staying and clapping it.
Well, he started off as a theatre director, didn't he? And then he got the Bond job.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
What Bond did he make?
I think it was the second to last one with Daniel Craig, not the last one that was out.
Quantum of Solace.
I think so. He definitely,
second to last one.
Yeah, not the one that was out just now. The one before that.
Spectre.
Maybe. Yeah, he definitely did one of the Bonds.
Right.
'Cause that was like a big thing at the time that a theatre director was been booked to do the. So she could be James Bond soon.
Well, there you go.
Oh, yeah, Jenny Bond.
Yeah, Jane Bond.
Yeah.
Jane Bond.
Whichever variation.
Yeah.
But it was a great show. So Clem's new show, Please Love Me, which he's doing at the Fringe this summer, the same time I'm doing my show, is going to be great. And keep an eye out on her socials because I cannot recommend it enough.
Yeah, if you are in Edinburgh, go and watch it. Please Love Me, and it's going to be on at the Pleasance. I'm not sure what time it's going to be on, but it's called Please Love Me, Clementine Bogg-Hargroves. But yeah.
Do you think that she got that Please Love Me off your Instagram bio, Harry?
You saying I'm needy? You're saying I'm needy.
That's an inspiration for the show.
Yeah. Do you know what, fellas? I think we should just fucking jump into the story now because, you've just opened the wound.
Oh, sorry, mate.
So this is All Made Up with Clementine Bogg-Hargroves. Hope you enjoy.
It's all made up again. Yeah. It's all made up again. It's all made up again. It's all made up again.
Firstly, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
You're welcome. I do feel a little bit like a shoehorn.
Why?
I don't know, because I'm like I know all of you, and a lot of people have cancelled recently, haven't they?
I don't think you're a shoe on at all. We in the intro, you were bigged up so much.
Yeah.
And the last thing on your kind of CV, Lewis went, and she's my girlfriend, which was fantastic.
Why are you trying to drop me in it like that?
I'm trying to drop you. Mate,
you presented that in a way because she's not seen it as if.
But I'm just letting her. Now she's in the room.
Basically, we don't want to lose female followers. That's what it is. We want Lewis to be available.
Is yeah. You need to be young,
eye candy.
hot, fresh, and single.
I'm the sex appeal. I am the sex appeal.
I know you are, Bubba.
Harry thinks he's the sex appeal.
I don't think I'm the sex appeal.
Yeah, you do.
I don't think I'm the sex
You
appeal.
think you're the sex appeal, yeah.
Because
you insisted this was video recorded.
Do you want to know something funny? Yeah. After we released the trailer for the podcast, right? I put it in my family WhatsApp group, being like, like really proud of what we've done here. And my sister commented, "Nice spray tan." And I was like, "It's fucking natural." And she was like, "Yeah, you've got a really fake glow." I was like, "Oh." But yeah, my family
Harry,
were.
I didn't think that.
I don't think I've got a fake. It's natural.
I told you look good before. Yeah,
Natural.
Yeah. But the point being is, we were bigging you up.
Well, I should hope so. Thank you.
Clementine Bogg-Hargroves, writer, actor, producer, creator, girlfriend.
Good egg.
What have you been doing tonight? You've been teaching some yoga, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been teaching some yoga. Bit of up dog, down dog.
Who let the dogs out?
Yeah.
Who let the dogs out, yeah. Then I do a little chant at the end.
Downward Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no way to speak about the ladies in the class.
Can you just give these guys an example of the chanting that you do at an end of a class?
The full, you want the full shebang?
I'll give me some of the shebang. Give us some of the shebang. So,
Full English breakfast or small?
I'd say about
Some
15,
of the-
Vegetarian
15 20
breakfast.
seconds, I reckon.
yeah,
Yeah,
Irish
just-
breakfast.
Some
Okay.
ashtang shebang.
Right. Oh.
Should we pretend we're in the yoga class as well?
It's
Because it
also
feels a bit
because
weird
I'm
if we
ill,
just
so
stare
I'm
at
like,
you.
Right,
Okay.
give us the real deal.
What do we need to do?
I'm trying. It's just because I'm ill so much. No,
No,
you're fine. It's because I'm like, my vocal cords are like twanging, so it's going, it's like a bad start, but usually it's quite nice. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can do it. Swasti prajabhyaha paripalayantam nyayena margena. I'm going to stop there.
It sounded
That's-
unbelievable
yeah,
through
that is great.
through the headphones.
In my head, I had them like forging a magical ring.
Yeah, I thought.
You know
Yeah,
what I
I thought
mean?
it was in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
That's what I
yeah.
felt like.
It sounds like when the elves sing.
I do love it.
I nearly cried then.
Well,
Yeah.
people do cry. I have made people cry.
That's
On
I
stage,
imagine as well when you're like
off.
so relaxed as well in that position.
Yeah.
Oh, you're like this at this point.
What, when I'm singing?
Yeah.
The
I
people,
usually do
the
that.
people in the yoga class are usually in Shavasana.
So cute. Shavasana, yeah.
Shavasana.
Lying on the back,
Or
Yeah,
as me
just
and
chill-
Lewis say, Shavasana.
Yeah, just chilling out.
Okay.
chilling out. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, it's really nice because...
Is that what it translates to?
Yeah, it's chilling out, isn't it?
Yeah.
No. It means corpse pose.
Yeah.
Because you're like this.
Let's be dead.
Chilling out.
So yeah, it's usually... But there's a chant that you do at the beginning and then a chant that you do at the end. I mean, there's lots of chants, but
There
that's
are-
the one that I do
there
at
are
the end.
loads.
Well, maybe we'll release a specific episode of just you doing different chants. That'd be a nice
Yeah.
one for the behind the paywall or something.
It'd be mad if
Just turning into a different podcast.
Yeah.
the people in the yoga class started chanting at the instructor. You don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you, Clem. Obviously, you know what you're doing.
Clem does know what she's doing.
Yeah.
She's got the quals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do have the qualls.
I'd be surprised if all the listeners aren't asleep after that sort of rendition.
Yeah.
We've lost
It-
them all.
it- honestly, that sounded unbelievable
Yeah.
through the cans.
That's good to know because I'm singing my next show and I have no singing experience.
Speaking of your next show, we was mentioning
Yeah,
that
we did.
in
Yeah.
the intro. It is Please Love Me, which
It
you're taking
is.
to Edinburgh this year. Give us a little bit of an insight about what that's about.
What is it about? So, I think it's based on my life because that's the only material I ever write about at the minute until I dry up. But it's based on a period of my life where I first fell in love and I also had like this really intense relationship with my best friend. So when I got with this guy, it was very confusing because my best friend got very jealous and angry with me. And so I found that really weird. And so in order to prove to her that I didn't love him more than her, I cheated on him a bunch of times.
Right.
So it's about guilt and it's about how you deal with that, which is told through the medium of comedy, pole dancing, singing of original songs, and some sick ass light effects, which are yet to be determined.
Well, so an all-round variety show.
Yeah, it's like we're calling it like a
Spectacular.
spectacular. Like
Yeah.
Lewis was saying that like an ideal review would be electric.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I want it to feel like.
It sounds layers, definitely.
Yeah, layers. Yeah.
Because we were saying before about Skank, your debut play, I would say. Yeah? As a
Yeah, for
solo,
sure,
and the first time I saw that was in the King's Arms in Salford.
Oh my God.
And that is the only time that I've seen it, as you constantly remind me. Can you come to the last show? No, I'm gigging. Yeah, shock.
It's true.
It is true, but I did come for the later part of that evening, and we had a great time.
We did have a good time, yeah.
And it's the most drunk I've ever seen you.
It's the most drunk I've ever been for a few years.
Yeah.
Not ever been, let's be real, but like
Yeah.
I think I was like mixture of like quite tired and I felt like I was sloppy.
The
You weren't
adrenaline. Yeah, you had
sloppy.
adrenaline as
Was
well.
I not?
Lisa.
No, you weren't
Okay.
sloppy.
You'll have been exhausted.
I was
Yeah.
exhausted.
Yeah. You'll have been
was.
exhausted. He was your last ever show. Harry didn't turn up for it. We
No.
turn up for his previews and his stand-up comedy shows and this, that, and the other. And when he needs just emotional support, we are there.
My
Usually,
girlfriend had just had surgery, that's why I didn't come.
valid.
Yeah, that's
I
valid.
was helping her
I
recover after
was
major
in-
surgery, that's what it was.
Yeah.
And I think that's quite reasonable. Isn't
That's
it?
It's
more than
reasonable.
reasonable.
Yeah, because I was actually in Scotland as well.
Yeah.
That's
Where was Harry?
Yeah.
I was in Wales actually.
When did you book the gig?
Months ago.
Yeah.
But
Shout
when
out
was I
Dave
born?
Rothney, lovely
32
gig.
years ago. So
Yeah.
you had a long,
yeah, I
like,
mean,
Where
look,
in Wales was it?
Is it? I want to say Conway Bay. It's not. It's Calney Bay.
So
Colwyn Bay.
Oh, that's it, Colwyn
so
Bay,
just
yeah,
across the
I was getting it
border,
wrong.
really, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
like maybe an hour.
Yeah.
About an hour and 20 minutes. But I put my foot down, did it in an hour and 15. Yeah, you know what I mean. 55 through a 50.
They've got the
Not
speed
asked.
cameras that averages out, so we didn't want to go too fast.
Yeah. The first time I saw Skank and the only time I saw Skank was fantastic. And obviously where that went from you creating it to taking it to Edinburgh, obviously having it published, Sam Mendes coming along, this second show is very exciting.
I hope so, yeah. I hope
And
so.
because I'm at the Fringe at the same time you were, I will be there every day. Sat front row.
Oh, sorry,
going,
Clement, I
is
put
this
this,
enough? Is this enough?
I've booked a gig again tonight. Yeah, I've got another gig. I can't possibly make it. It's 20 minutes away and it's a 10-minute walk.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
But that is exciting though.
And speaking of creating new plays, creating new stories, let's create a story of our own.
Great segue.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Smashed it.
beautiful.
So let's do All Made Up with Clementine Bogg-Hargroves.
It's all made up, baby.
So, Clem, the first thing we're going to do before we do anything is we're going to build this character.
Okay.
The character we're going to be working with today and travelling through this world with. So, before we jump into the sentences and where we're starting and where we're finishing, let's add a few layers to this character.
Okay.
What is the name of the character we're going to be working with today?
The character's name is Egglantine Muff.
Is that a relative of yours? You don't know.
I hope she is.
Egglantine.
Egglantine Muff. Right. Okie dokie. So we're
Solid
going.
name.
We're going wacky. We're going wacky early doors.
Yeah, it was. I was expecting wacky.
I think it's straight lace. Eglantine. It's like someone that you would see riding a horse in a battlefield, I think.
Oh, you see, I'm from
Yeah.
I'm from a very working class town. Everyone's called Phil where I'm from.
Yeah. Or if he was from where you're from, it'd be called Eggy.
Yeah.
Eggy. So is
Yeah.
it Eglantine or Eglantine?
Eglantine.
Eglantine.
Yeah, she's English. Yeah.
Okie dokie. So it's.
Oh, she's female as well.
Eglantine, yeah.
You said.
Oh, so obviously, Harry, yeah.
Really?
Of course it is Eglantine.
Oh,
Eglantine.
I had-
Mr. Eglantine.
I had a proper bruiser in my head.
Oh, really?
Well,
Yeah.
you're
Eglantine,
wrong.
Eglantine Muff.
It's always about what you want, Harry.
Yeah. It's about what Clementine wants. So Eglantine, let's put a colour of her on her head. What's she got? What's she rocking? What's her hairstyle?
Ginger.
She's ginger.
Yeah.
Long hair, short hair, bob, curly.
Skinhead.
Absolute skinhead ginger.
Just little spikes.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's like not all over, but you can see the ginger poking through.
A ginger helmet. And I'm talking like carrot. Like beautiful orange.
Healthy.
Healthy orange.
Yeah. Okay.
Okie dokie.
Orange.
How old is she?
37.
She's 37.
So she's not old, but she's not young. She's an adult.
Yeah, she is a peppy old Eglantine Muff.
Okie dokie.
Okay.
Okay. And is this set in present times?
What is it today? It's the 23rd.
No, I think it's in the Victorian times.
So it's Eglantine Muff in the Victorian time. She's got a ginger bonce.
Which would make more sense, actually, with that name, I think, Victorian
she would
times.
stick out like a sore thumb with a skinhead in the Victorian era.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. What year is the Victorian era? Let's just say it's the 1800s. It's the 19th century.
It's just the Victorian times.
Victorian
Yeah.
times. Okay. And what
Smog.
does she do? What does she do for a job?
She is a journalist.
Oh,
a
wow.
Nice.
journalist.
That's a bit like, okay, and what city is this set in?
Or town.
It is set in Settle.
It's set in Settle.
No, it's not set in Settle. It's set in Leeds.
Leeds, okay, nice.
Leeds,
Yeah.
Victorian Leeds.
Yeah.
And
Yorkshire lady.
She's a journalist.
She's a journalist, yeah.
Does she journal anything in particular?
She's really interested in the decline of rats in the city.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're getting rid of the plague's going.
plague.
She's interested in like what's
She's
happening.
interested
Yeah.
in the decline,
Nice.
but because she actually really likes rats, and she doesn't like the fact that they've been given a bad rap.
Yeah.
So she's kind of fighting a battle at the minute to restore people's faith in them.
Change the attitude of
Yeah.
of what people think about rats.
Yeah, and the way she does that is that she compares them to squirrels, and she says, "You've all been fooled by the squirrel because everyone thinks that squirrels are like really cute, but actually it's a little slutty vermin whore bag."
Okay, nice.
So not only she's trying to restore
Native to Leeds.
yeah.
restore the sort of faith in rats for people, she's trying to tarnish what the squirrels have got.
Well, she's just trying to tell people to wake up.
Yeah.
Just wake up and smell the bacon.
And And how successful has she been just on this kind
Not
of...
that successful.
I'm not hopeful for her.
Yeah.
So they do carry disease. So
She gets laughed out of pretty much every printing press she goes to, mainly for her hair. And then when she shows the content of what she's writing, they're like, "You're a joke, Egglantine." Sorry, Egglantine or Eglantine? Eglantine, of course it is. Mrs. Muff.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Well, being a female journalist then was obviously a big step as well, wasn't it?
Mrs. Muff
It's a
walked
big-
off
it's
in
a big
her
step.
house.
I don't know what the sort of rates were of female journalists back then, but I imagine
Not a
it was
lot,
obviously
not a lot,
she's quite
Ben.
unique, isn't she? So
She's very unique in many, many ways. But the thing is that she's got massive jugs. So like she shaved her hair to try and Peter Pan it, to pretend to be a lad. But they were like, "You're not fooling anyone with those big ones.
Them cannons.
With those boobage.
Yeah.
Chesticles.
Chesticles.
Chebs.
Yeah.
Your old chimney
Chedaroos.
sweeper boobs.
yeah,
Yeah.
Okey-doke.
Large breasts.
yeah.
And does she have family, what she lives with, or does she live by herself? Does she have sisters, brothers?
Yeah, she lives with her younger brother, but unfortunately he lost his legs in a battle, which was a duel, actually.
God, what a battle!
He lost his legs in a duel.
So a sword duel, or they like kneecapped him?
So it was a duel where you can choose your weapon. So they like start off back to back.
And he chooses his weapon first.
Yeah.
And then the other lad thought,
He's there with a dagger.
That's not fair.
Yeah,
You've got a bazooka.
yeah. He's not a very smart lad, bless him.
right, okay, so we lost the duel. What was the duel over? Was they fighting over anything in particular? Or?
The last brioche in Leeds,
Right. Why was it the last one?
because the patisserie closed down because of all the rats.
Yeah.
Right, that makes sense.
I
There's never
imagine.
been one there since. There's never been a brioche in Leeds since. I've heard.
Yeah, just people walking around. Where's the patisserie?
Yeah.
You mean the
Yeah.
bakers?
Yeah.
Closed down. 1873.
Yeah.
Where does she live? Like, she live in a flat, a house?
Oh, it's just like a room in a place.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like-
think about it. Did they have flats back in Victorian
They
times?
had flats.
It was like one room really with everything,
Tenements.
wasn't it?
Tenements, that's what they're called.
Right.
So she just lives in a room.
Yeah.
And
With a brother. With a legless brother.
yeah,
How amazing
legless Luke.
would it be to imagine an estate agent in the Victorian era being like, well, it's a lovely two-bed that looks out over the Thames. I mean, the smell of shit is unbearable.
Yeah, that's Luke's job. That's what he does.
Yeah.
He's an estate agent.
Legless Luke, the landlord.
I've heard as
he's a
well.
landlord?
He's not a landlord. He
They are
doesn't
actually
own that much
thinking
money.
about putting a tube in. I can't really tell you what it is, but it's a train, I think, that goes underground. Mental, I know, but it might catch on. Yeah, there's this London Eye as well, but this is all future stuff. It's an investment. Honestly, get in now and you'll love it,
As
Yeah.
Leeds.
Because that was an awful Leeds.
London.
That was an awful Leeds
Well,
accent.
what's the selling point for Leeds? I mean, move to Leeds, and in time, a saint is going to come, and his name is Mark Viduka.
Quite well get that.
Yeah.
He's a
Right.
football player.
Every week you isolate the audience. Every week you pick a different place in the country to isolate. We're gonna have no listeners by the end.
So let's just wrap up what we've just said. So we've got Egglantine Muff, who's living in Leeds with a brother, legless Luke, lost his legs in a duel over brioche, who is an estate agent as well.
Yeah.
Eglantine is a journalist, and she's trying to change the attitudes of what people have against rats in the city because of the plague, and she also has almost a hatred for squirrels, which are getting good press, and she wants to change that.
And large breasts as well.
Oh yeah, she also has.
I don't know how relevant that is in the
Proper.
future, but yeah.
Fairly
So much
relevant.
What are we
Yeah.
talking? E's, D's,
yeah,
GCSEs?
like just big old. Missed it.
GCSEs.
Yeah.
That is funny.
It is funny. Yeah.
That was a genuine laugh.
If you'd heard it,
It didn't
if
sound
you'd heard
like
it when
it,
he
but
said
I'll
it, it
take
would have
it.
been great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So having said that, I reckon with the character we've got involved, let's make a start. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick a first sentence for this character, which is the green stick. Okay? Once we've got that, we're going to read it out and you're going to fill in the blank with Egglantine.
Egglantine Muff wakes up in a room littered with marshmallows.
So that is where we're starting. Okie doke.
Okay.
And now we're going to find out where this story finishes. So if you pick the red card and read that one.
The doctor said it will never grow back.
Nice, okay.
Amazing.
Okay, it could be pretty apt for the 18th century.
That is classic Victorian doctor chat.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I've got a cold. It'll never grow back.
Right, okay, so we've got... Let's
Such a shit joke.
let's build this opening scene. Let's build the opening scene of this then. So, Egglantine Muff, she's woken up in a room littered with marshmallows. Shall we start it off from there? Which room is she in? Is she in her own room? Is she in someone else's room? Where is she?
So So Egglantine Muff has woken up in the editor-in-chief of the Leeds Chronicles house, and his name is Mr. Humphrey Duplex.
Humphrey Duplex.
Humphrey Duplex.
Obviously, marshmallows probably don't exist, but they do for the very, very wealthy, the 1%.
Yeah.
No one knows about them. So Egglantine Muff doesn't know what these things are. She just knows that they're soft and white and everywhere.
Like her breasts.
Yeah.
Can I
Her breasts
ask?
are everywhere.
No, I don't think she's that type of woman, is she?
No, but they are. You said they were massive earlier. So
Yeah, to be fair, everywhere you look, there's one of her breasts, even if she's at the other side of the room.
Other side of Leeds.
You're like, oh, yeah. There's the nipple.
When she wakes up, right, in my head, I have this room being like a ball pit of marshmallows, or is it like, like a few just
I
dotted
just
around?
thought a few scattered around her, like almost like crisps falling out of the packet.
See, I
think
like
it's-
swimming to the door, like trying
Like she's
Yeah, see, I think that it's more like, when you're in a forest and, like those little red mushrooms pop up everywhere.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, like they've almost, it looks like they've kind of popped up from the floor.
Okay.
And to Eglantine, that's what it looks like, because she's woken up.
she's never seen them before.
She's never seen them before. Imagine for 1 second, you are a Victorian lady called Egglantine Muff with ginger hair, massive breasts. You wake up in a stupor. You've had a bit of a weird night, and you open your eyes, and you close them. The floor was bare. You open them again. There's these little white, pillowy, squashy things everywhere.
That's my fantasy, so I've often thought about that.
Yeah.
actually.
Imagine that.
Yeah, because you've never.
wow,
her first
yeah,
instinct won't be to pick one of these up and eat them.
No,
really.
definitely not. No.
But she's a journalist, so she's interested. She's she's got a bit of adventure about her, and she's inquisitive. Okay, this is an interesting situation. This is going to be a good one. This might get me a job.
This is a scoop.
This is a scoop.
a soft scoop.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking Humphrey isn't in the room at this point.
Humphrey
He's like,
is-
is this the bedroom? Is this the living room? The dining room?
Is his dining cocktail bar area.
So she fell asleep in that area.
Yeah, so she's on a sofa much like this one,
Yeah.
and she's woken up bare-breasted.
So they've had a bit of.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Oh,
She can't remember. She's drunk with the fumes of synthetic sugar.
Wow.
Right, so they might be cooking up these mushrooms in this gaff.
Marshmallows.
Marshmallow.
What did I say?
Mushrooms.
You might be on mushrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's woken up. She's bare-breasted. We're not interested about that for a second. But then she's like, oh, bit of a breeze. She looks down. There's 2 marshmallows.
On the end of her
stuck
nipples?
Yeah. Like,
Have her
stuck-
nipples come through the other side of her?
They're not that long.
like they're skewered.
Extra long. Ties them in a bow.
yeah.
It's quite cold in Leeds. So, yeah.
Needs a drink.
That's
No,
funny.
yeah, so they're stuck on. So she's like, oh, she looks down and she's shocked, as she would be.
Oh, yeah.
So she probably thinks that something's wrong with her, right? And she's
Yeah.
like, oh my God. But when she kind of shudders, one of them falls off. She sees all the rest of the marshmallows sprung up like little fungi, right? And she's like, okay, this is an interesting situation, right? and then she kind of shakes the other boob. It whacks her in the face because it's that big and soft and long. And the other marshmallow kind of pings off, and she's like, right, okay. She smells the odour of sugar, which is quite strong to Egglantine Muff because sugar is expensive.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very strong and quite, like, it's going to create her mouth, like her mouth's going to be watering. So she starts to drool.
Uncontrollably.
Uncontrollably. Like, she's like, whoa. So, you know, she's no stranger to a couple of opium puffs. I don't know.
She's a journalist. She's always up to fight, like trying something new, trying things out. She's like the Vice of the Victorian times.
Yeah, she's quite
That's
liberal.
exactly
She's always
it.
she's a curious mind. She wants to try other things.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that's the opening scene, isn't it?
Yeah.
She's woke up in this place, Humphrey's place. This guy is the editor of the
editor-in-chief.
Leeds.
Yeah, Leeds
Humphrey Duplex.
Chronicle.
The Leeds Chronicle,
Yeah.
and is she trying to get a job at the Chronicle, or is
Yeah. The Leeds Chronicle is like the big boy.
Right.
The big boy around town, yeah.
and she's freelance trying to get a job there, hence why she's at Humphrey's place. They might have had a bit of canoodling. We don't know. We're
don't
going to
know.
find out. I reckon she's going to follow the scent of this sugar smell and walk towards it.
Humphrey. Humphrey's not on the scene at the moment.
Humphrey's nowhere to be seen.
Interesting.
Right, okay.
We don't know where he is.
Okay. So I think, like I said, we've set the scene there. I think that we pick up a prompt and let's take this story maybe a little bit of a different direction. So you're going to pick up an orange card and read out what's on there, and we're going to incorporate that in the next 5-10 minutes.
They found a bath full of warm milk.
Nice. Nice.
So we're going to have to incorporate that. So
I wonder where the milk's going to come from. Yeah, I mean, don't mind, Clem.
So you said that there's like they're in like a cocktail sort of bar.
Yeah, like
area.
a lounge area, because
There's-
Humphrey makes a fair bit of dollar.
Yeah. He's wadded.
Yeah.
So she goes towards this smell. So where does her nose take her?
So the first things first is that she needs to make sure that these like marshmallows, which we'll call marshmallows, but she doesn't know that's what they're called, so are not poisonous. So her mouth starts to water, and she trusts her instinct, so she licks her own breast, and she's like, that tastes really nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so her next thing is to pick up the marshmallows. She takes a minute, she takes a beat, and then she bites into it, and oh wow, I mean, the taste is phenomenal.
It would be unreal, that.
Oh,
like,
it tastes
the first
sugar.
time.
Yeah.
First
I mean,
time ever.
First time ever. I mean, she's very poor, so she's basically eating bark and weeds mixed up as a soup.
Classic Victorian.
Yeah.
lunch,
Yeah,
that.
with her own urine, not delicious stuff. So the marshmallow is like, wow,
it'd blow your mind.
it blows her tiny mind off.
Does she the other marshmallows
She
which are on the
goes
floor?
on a rampage because it's like.
Does she follow him like a trail?
Yeah, literally like a little.
On her knees.
Yeah, yeah. Breasts lolling. She's like, get out of the way. She swings them over her shoulders, to make. So she's hoofing these down. She feels amazing. And then she follows them, and then as she kind of like scrabbles around on her knees, she whacks her head straight into Humphrey Duplex's knob.
Oh, wow.
So he's a small guy. She's on her hands and knees walking.
His knob isn't just on the floor. Like, just cut
He's
away.
under the floorboards with a hole in it.
She's like, oh, God, I reckon that's his...
Is he on his knees or just dead small? Like, if she's... he's
really
really small.
He's little. Right, okay. He's little.
He's really little. She's on her hands and knees.
He's really little.
Like Tyrion Lannister.
No, I see him as a Monopoly man.
Right,
You know?
yeah.
That's sort of like, look,
So,
with a top hat.
He's got a monocle.
No,
Yeah.
he does.
I don't push
think
you to.
he's one of those people who, like, he's really small. He's got like small man syndrome, so that's why he's worked so hard and he's become editor-in-chief. So he's a bit of a dickhead.
Yeah.
And but he's quite small.
And now she has his dick on her head.
Well, no. Yeah. So she's like scurrying around like, oh my god, whack. What's that? Lifts up her head. It actually lifts up his bollocks. So then she's looking in underneath at his
perineum.
Gooch. And then he
And there's a marshmallow there.
Yeah.
He's planted the trail and left one there stuck for her. That's the type of guy Humphrey's like.
To be fair, yeah. And then he lifts up his bowl sack and his penis off of her head so that she has a clear view up to his face.
What's the ratio of penis to balls? Is it bigger balls than penis?
Massive balls.
Oh, right, okay. So, like, yeah, that's a sad thing.
Yeah, but then
Sad thing.
Yeah, that's a sad thing.
What a weird phrase.
It is a sad thing, that.
Big balls, really sad.
Obviously, like, he's got small man syndrome, but massive bollocks.
You got to feel for the lad.
Yeah.
Massive balls.
I couldn't imagine anything worse.
Let's have a moment of silence.
So, and then she looks up and she realizes that Humphreys is clothed from the waist up as opposed to her being clothed from the kind of breast down. And then a memory, it flashes back and they were comparing breasts and balls to see who had the biggest appendage.
Right.
Yeah, like ratio in it. Yeah.
They were just doing some old fashioned research.
He put hers in her bra and filled it and went, I told you.
Yeah. But actually they didn't have bras, so he would have put them in a corset and tightened them up.
They had really good cleavage.
Whoa. So then, and Humphrey's like, good morning, Eglantine. And she's like, morning, Humphrey.
Yeah.
Anyway, she's still, meanwhile, like going mad with these marshmallows. And she's like, have you tasted one of these? He's like, yeah, I put them all around the house.
He's put them all around the house.
Yeah, he's put them all around the house. But it was a test. It was a test.
Yeah, okay.
You see? Because he was like, I wanted to know if you would scurry off like the little stupid woman that you are, or if you'd take a risk and shove one in your mouth. And whilst he's saying that, he's trying to put his penis in her mouth.
Oh, right, okay. So, okay, sweet. So
while he's kind of like
slapping her around.
so is it flaccid?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So it's completely flaccid.
Is she finding it funny?
She's not really bothered because she's so...
Do you know when someone like tries to give you food and you're just like...
Yeah, he's just kind of going, it was a test.
I feel like she should be more worried.
She's seen worse.
Victorian days, yeah.
She's one of her regular gigs is hanging out with the prostitutes on
She's
Skid Row.
she's journaled them, I'm guessing.
Yeah. She's mates with them. She's seen worse. You know, she's kind of gone undercover. She's been around the block. She's not going to be scared by a flaccid penis.
Block. Been around a few sacks in my time.
Yeah, it's just not going to worry her. You know, a big ball sack flopping about.
Right, okay, so let's get away from the big ball sack on the head. He's planted these marshmallows.
Yeah, as a test.
And he wanted to see if she'd taste one or run off, and she's tasted one.
So they're rummaging around. Eglantine says, let's get dressed. So they just like cover up, put their sheaths back on. Yeah. And then they both go to the bathroom to wash their face, and they found a bath full of warm milk.
Oh my God, what a twist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is confusing for everyone.
Yeah, warm because it was a hot day and it's been stagnating there, or warm as in like it's quite
just
fresh.
Fresh from the teat.
Fresh from the teat. Whose
bathful?
teat?
Yeah, of the cow.
Oh, so it's also asked what type of milk it is.
Yeah.
So it's cow's milk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is there a cow present?
Do you reckon they had oat milk in the Victorian times?
They probably do, yeah.
Probably came from somewhere, yeah. You can't, I don't have cows native to everywhere, do you? So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the cow's not present, but there's steam coming off of the milk bath.
I imagine that would be like, it would smell in the air.
Yeah, it's
You know what I mean?
Sweet. It's a sweet scent.
It's a sweet smell. Right, okie dokie.
Rivaling the marshmallow scent, yeah.
Has Humphrey, like, is this something that he wanted? Like a bath full of warm milk or... Because we're in his place, aren't we?
Yeah, it's his wife. So she bathes in the milk.
It's like a beauty thing.
Yeah, it's a beauty thing.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
His wife is present at this time or not at this time?
No, she's gone. She's gone off to walk around the room of someone else's place. That's what they used to do. They used to walk around rooms. Yeah. Let's take a tour of the room.
Yeah, rich women in the Victorian times, just to walk around.
Yeah.
What, so she's not in his house?
No,
she's just somewhere else walking around?
Just dripping in milk.
But then they see something stir in the bath of milk. And they both are like, what's going on? Because they know that the wife's not in. And a little nose pops up, a a little grey nose kind of pops up and like moves its whiskers, and then it turns out it's a little rat, and then he kind of goes onto his back and starts to do the backstroke in the milk and
nice
like
scene.
bathing, kind of like wafting it into. So Humphrey freaks out and goes to like get something to like clobber it with, and Eglantine's like, no, they're my friends.
Right, and as you would.
Yeah.
As you would.
Yeah.
Yes, a natural response.
Yeah. And so the rat is like cowering in the milk, and he actually wets himself.
Oh.
In the milk. Spoils the milk.
Yeah.
So this
Spoils the milk.
tiny little grey, yellow puddle.
That's the thing, because you can really see it because of the contrast of the white.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
separates.
And he was quite
seeps
dehydrated,
out of the
yeah.
little thing. It goes.
Looks like balsamic vinegar when you put it in oil.
Yeah, that's exactly
Yeah.
that's exactly the look.
It curdles, and he's like,
Yeah,
Right, yeah, so,
feels quite embarrassed.
so obviously he's going to get something to clobber this rat.
He's got it, and then he's about to whack it. Eglantine stops him.
How does she stop him?
She just moves. She just
With her
moves the
cheb.
body in front.
Yeah, that's
and
brave, though.
So she moves in front, and then her boobs kind of come after her and whack him.
yeah.
Oh,
They're
God.
just like a secondary kind of.
Okay, and then let's progress the story. So he's like, why have you done that?
Yeah, she's like, they're my friends, and then she starts, and then Humphrey's like, not the rats again.
What? So she's
You're always talking about these rats.
Yeah, I suppose she's well known for being the rat woman,
Big-
isn't she?
big
So that's
time.
why, yeah. So maybe
Yeah.
he was like, maybe he was giving her a chance to be like a bit different and...
Yeah, and he's like, you're going on about the rats again. You know, they've killed my son because his son got plague.
right. Okay.
Like personally, all he had disease.
Yeah,
So,
well-
so he died of the plague. He wasn't eaten to death by a bunch of rats.
Well, eventually he was, because
right,
that's
yeah.
one of the preferred ways in the press trade to be interred. So you just get eaten by rats because there's enough of them.
So the plague killed him, and then rats sort of did away with the body.
Yeah.
Yeah, circle of life.
It's expensive to bury people.
I know. Yeah. If I don't want to get cremated, I want to get ratted at the end. That's my plan.
Ratted.
I'm sure that's how you'll die anyway, Harry. I won't
Yeah.
worry about that. Yeah.
Okay, so let's say that obviously scene 1, we find her with these marshmallows. Scene 2, we've seen her find this bath of milk.
Yeah.
So where do we go from here?
Well, it's interesting that you should say that, Lewis, because the rat's weed itself and then it's scurried away. And then there's another little nose. But this
God.
time it's not going through the milky part, it's going through the urine part. So you see,
Yeah.
so the
Yeah.
squirrel,
Squirrels.
the squirrel's kind of, we don't know it's a squirrel, but it's another. And Humphrey's like, here comes another one, the little vermin rat. Bitch. And so the squirrel kind of puts its nose over, and then it starts to drink the urine part, and Humphrey's like, typical rat drinking its own piss. And then the squirrel emerges, and Humphrey's like, oh my god, a squirrel. That's so
And
bad.
is it a red one, a grey one?
A grey one.
I think he's pro squirrel and she's pro rat, and then this obviously causes a bit of a divide. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah, definitely.
She wants to document the fact that this is what she's just seen a squirrel do, and he wants to oppose that because
Yeah.
it goes against his thing.
Well,
So
he lost his son to rats.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's a
But
big deal.
is it that he lost his son to rats, or is it just he thinks he lost his son to rats, and it was actually the squirrels carrying the deadly plague?
Yeah.
This is the thing. So then this kind of brings this situation to the forefront, but Humphrey's like, I've got to go to work. And Eglantine's like, no, because I know that you're going to put another piece about rats being bad. And Eglantine's like, please, can I just come with you to work, and can you just hear me out about my case against the squirrels?
Yeah.
And I think that Humphrey says, no, I'm going printing a story about the rats. And then Eglantine says, not if I get it printed first.
That is typical Eglantine.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's classic Eglantine.
So
that.
it's a race to get it to the press. Because basically she's a freelance journalist. She doesn't just have to go to the Leeds Chronicle. That's where she wants. But there'll be
Yeah.
other presses.
Yeah, there is a rival.
And who's the rival press?
The rival press is
The Leeds.
the Leeds
Sonical.
Gazette.
The Leeds Gazette.
Yeah.
The Leeds Gazette.
The
So
Leeds Gazette.
I'm going to the Gazette with this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's like, well, you do what you want to do, but the Leeds Gazette, we know that they're running into the ground.
Yeah.
Like, no one buys the Gazette anymore. Like, no one takes them seriously. You know, that old maid who runs it, Margaret Huff. No one, everyone
That's her name.
knows that she's an addict. She's an opium addict. No one takes her seriously. Like, you do what you want to do, but it's not
Okay.
I'm not worried. He's not worried.
Okay.
Well, okay. So I reckon at this point we now take a next prompt and let's see where the story gets taken now.
What the fuck are you doing? The lollipop lady screamed.
Okay. Oh, so that's perfect. So
Yeah.
So obviously they're both in a race.
It's a race to get this printed. So
Yeah.
obviously, I think we're following Eglantine on this journey.
Yeah.
So she's sprinting to the Gazette.
So I see her running, obviously, because not risking it, but she's got to write it as well. So she's
Yeah.
running while typing on a typewriter,
Yeah.
and balancing on her breasts or something, like
That's
a
a good
typewriter.
point.
Or-
I mean, she.
Victorian times, people have like horse and cart, don't they?
Yeah.
So what if Eglantine's is like thousands of rats on like a big harness, and she just
No, she does. That's,
yeah, and people are like and she's
But is she on like a skateboard?
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? She's getting pulled
No,
by.
a penny farthing.
Yeah.
Well, no, she calls Lukentine her brother,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luke for short, and she's like, Luke, get the boys, and he's like, I'm on it, and then he arrives with what you just described,
a
Harry.
horde of rats.
Horde of rats.
But I like the idea of him just being dragged along the floor.
That's how they.
He's just pulling.
Yeah, that because he's been pulled, right?
Covered in scratches.
and then she just has to hop on.
Oh, she uses him like a mini toboggan.
Yeah, he's a toboggan, so he's just like, no one takes me seriously, but I'm a strong motherfucker.
So I'm the
he's
Ratmobile.
robust.
Is
I'm
it-
the Ratmobile.
Yeah, the Ratmobile. Yeah.
Exactly. No one takes him
That is a
seriously.
shout. The Ratmobile.
The Ratmobile, yeah.
He comes to a rescue and he's like, I'm on it. And because he can take a lot of pain, Lukentine, he's had his
Yeah.
legs chopped off.
In a duel, yeah.
In a
In a duel, probably no anaesthetic.
Definitely no anaesthetic. So he had his legs chopped off and then sewn back together with no anaesthetic. Like he is one.
And the legs, like they've been sewn on, but still
Have
don't
they-
work.
Has he got like, when you put a patch on an old jacket? Has he got them on his end of his knees?
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I thought he just had no legs and they just sewed back the wound.
Yeah.
That's how
Oh, right.
I didn't even know that they'd sewn him back on. I just thought he was just legless, and she was literally standing on him like a skateboard.
No, she is. That's exactly
So
what
I
she's
thought
doing.
he sewed his legs together when he said so. They had to save a job. They just sewed them
Like a
together.
loop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah. So she's like, bring the boys, and he's like, I'm on it.
right. So she's travelling at speed now. Upon
her
Lukentine,
brother,
upon her brother,
Lukentine.
dragged by 1,000 rats, going significant speeds.
Yeah, it's pretty fat. I mean, there's a lot of rats.
Mate,
Right.
mate, a
Lot of
1,000
rats.
rat power is, that's like,
It's a lot of talk.
that
yeah.
is,
1,000 rat horsepower.
you're getting like 0 to 60 in like 4 seconds.
Yeah.
Easy.
I'm guessing something crosses her path.
Well, maybe Humphrey. Maybe obviously they're racing together. I imagine.
What's he travelling on?
He's wealthy, innit? So I
Probably on a
imagine he's probably
horse.
got like a really nice horse and cart. Like
Yeah.
really nice.
Yeah.
He's on a horse, and the horse is on a cart.
Like he's on a float. That's funny.
So he's
how
on
posh
a
he is, yeah.
horse.
Yeah.
He's on a horse, which is on a cart, which is being dragged by a horse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
So okay.
And the
so,
horse is just
And the
eating.
other horse is on a cart, which has been dragged by another horse.
yeah. So he's high. He wants the height advantage.
Oh,
Yeah.
big time. Yeah, yeah. He
Because-
likes to look, because he's small.
Well, he wants to pass the press through the window of the building.
Because I imagine them in the same building. Or across the road from each other at race. Maybe like in the same area. That's why they're racing there. 'cause
Yeah,
obviously
yeah,
they're
yeah,
across
yeah.
the road from each other, maybe as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So this race is on.
It's so on. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I imagine them like they, say they're going down the mall.
Oh, but and they're giving each other loads of
Has
bad.
Humphrey got his kecks on at this point?
Yeah.
Okay, because I just
Yeah.
imagine if he didn't, he's like his bollocks being like a windsock. You know what I mean? Like a big sail behind him, just catching wind.
Slowing him down.
Yeah. And he's like, shit,
But for his balls, I've been winning.
lift the sail.
If it wasn't for these balls, I'd be winning.
Just massive, like,
Okay. So they're approaching.
Handbrake.
Blessing and a curse.
They're approaching a crossing. Little Jimmy walks across the road, or is on the side of the path actually, wanting to cross the road.
Yeah.
What happens?
What if Humphrey's throwing a marshmallow to try and distract
Yeah.
in the
That's
road?
a great shout.
And that's
Ben.
and to
I
like
love
you know
it.
that's
Foul play.
he's thrown one to think, oh, this will get her out of the way. Like, no, wacky races. That's his power.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's put it in Eglantine's way, so Jimmy's, and he's like, yeah, got the bitch. The marshmallow he threw because he saw the kid. He was like, I'll get him. So he produced it from underneath his pouch, threw it, Eglantine's like, Luke, we need to stop.
And then the lollipop
lady says, what the fuck are you doing?
Right.
The lollipop lady screamed.
Does she say that to Luke or Humphrey or Eglantine?
Eglantine and Luke, because Humphrey's gone ahead.
Oh shit! Okay, so he's got the lead now.
So he's like, ha 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 ha, as he goes past.
Can I just get an image of this lollipop lady? Like, has she got like the proper high vis on?
She's woven together this kind of like burlap sack.
Right.
So she's just like she's quite big, but she's like just like.
Is that like Hessian?
Yeah.
Right, with you.
And she's just wearing that.
Okay.
With like a flap on the front.
Yeah.
And a flap on the back.
Okay.
So she is the stop sign almost.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And
okay,
then,
right.
and then it's woven two pieces together, and it's like one big white.
Oh,
It'd be amazing if she was painted as like a zebra crossing.
Yeah, I mean that's the next stage. Yeah.
Okay, so she stopped. As she stopped Eglantine.
Yeah, Eglantine and Lukentine have had to stop, and the rats are like, "Whoa!" They're all like,
So she goes, "What the fuck are you doing?"
"What the fuck are you doing?"
And then does Eglantine? Is she just like, I don't give a shit what you think. I'm going, and just sort of like rides over it. What does she do?
I think she says, "Get out of the way, you rat."
Yeah. No, she wouldn't, would she?
No.
She'd say, "Get away, you squirrel."
Eglantine thinks really quickly, and she goes, "What's that smell?" And then Lollipop Lady goes, "What do you mean?" She's like, "Oh my God," points behind the Lollipop Lady. So the Lollipop Lady looks behind. Eglantine says, "Luke, now!" And they ride over her back.
Did she crack the whips?
Yeah.
And it cracks 1,000 little rats.
Yeah.
Just an intricately sewn thing with all these little harnesses, all these rats.
Yeah.
It's taken her 25 years to sew this.
It's true craftsmanship.
Yeah.
It really is. They've all got little like mouth guards.
I feel like she stitched the tails of each rat to the head of the one behind, so when she does it, their tail hits the rat behind
like
its
a
head.
centipede.
So she goes whack, and the tails go and hits every single one of them.
Just two giant rat tails in her
But they appreciate it because they know they're fighting a bigger fight.
The thing about rats is they're team players.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if they've got to be sewn onto their brother, they will.
Sorry, they're not even like massive. She's got two tiny rat tails in her hands, and she goes, and it goes.
Yeah. Luke, now.
Yeah. Don't you see like 1,000 mouse traps go off?
Yeah.
That's what I've got.
Yeah.
So they ride over this
They
lollipop.
ride over the lollipop lady. It gives them a little bit of wind because rats are quite they're quite light.
Yeah.
And actually, because they've been woven together, they end up being this kind of like weird kite.
Yeah, like Da Vinci's sort of flying car.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Lukentine is like looking up at us.
I like the idea of him like sort of swinging below the rat's spout, and she sort of held onto him like a harness.
Yeah.
And the floor.
She sat in the loop of his legs.
Still facing the wrong way.
She's sat in the loop of his legs while she's being carried like a kite by these rats.
What an image.
Her legs through his legs, holding onto his torso, rats carrying them. Okay, so they're gaining speed because there's a strong backwind coming.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah. Okay. So she's flying towards the Gazette. Below, we can see Humphrey. He's close to the Chronicle.
Yeah.
What happens? What does she do?
Well, they're flying. Eglantine looks down. Then Luke looks up at Eglantine. They both look at the Gazette. They see that Margaret Huff's window is open.
Right.
And they wink at each other. Crack.
Fly!
Again. A million tails in unison.
She cracks the whip again, but obviously she'll be cracking it like that upwards.
So she cracks the whip and then she pulls on one of them, so they go, "Eh!" and they like go so that it turns them.
Yeah.
So she's like, "Sorry, boys." So that it turns and Luke's stitching at his legs start to go. So Luke goes, Eggy, my legs. And she looks down and she goes, Luke, hold on. She's like, I don't know how much longer I can hold them together. And so just at the last minute, he's like, I tell you what, when we get to the window, break through them.
Right.
Because obviously she's in his legs. So he's like, she's like, I'll hold on with my thigh strength to try and push them together. But she's like, Eggy, when we get to the window, you're going to have to break through them. You're going to have to break through them
Like she's
to get
finished
through.
a race.
Because basically they're kind of, the rats are turning, and so they're going, whoa, like that.
Right,
and the window's there. So he's like,
slingshot.
I'll tell you when, and then you have to break through to launch through the window. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Sounds painful.
I'm really worried for what's going to happen to her next.
Everyone's worried.
Imagine
He's
seeing
like-
that in the sky. Looking up. What the?
bit of blood on your head.
God, I need to stop taking opium. And then we'll be like,
So Eggy looks at Luke, and Luke looks at Eggy, and she goes, no. And he goes, you have to. You have to for us, and you have to for them. Whilst the rat's going, try flying. And he's like, okay, you ready? And she's like, I think so. Meanwhile, her hair's blowing in the wind.
vibrating in the wind.
And then he says, now, and she breaks through her brother's legs, the stitching. She looks behind as his legs fly around, blood everywhere. And he goes, you did it! As the rats plunge into the river.
Yeah.
He dies.
Don't know.
Oh, right,
But the
okay.
rats have gone into the river.
Yeah.
Open
And
wound.
she goes, no! As she's
Hurtling towards.
and then she quickly turns, and then she does some kind of crazy somersault, and she ends up on top of Margaret Huff.
Okay, so it's Muff on Huff at this point.
Muff on Huff.
I think I've seen
Sounds
that.
like a German
I think I've seen
town.
that film. Yeah, I think I've seen that
Welcome
one.
to Muffinhof.
Yeah, so meanwhile, so she kind of ends up kind of like on top of Huff. Margaret's absolutely off her tits, like completely, just because she smokes a lot of opium.
Right.
So it doesn't even bother her. She just goes, hello. Eglantine's like, wait a minute, looks out of the window, sees that Humphrey's about to breach the doors
Yeah.
of the Chronicle.
Yeah.
And she says, listen, Margaret, I've got this big story, and I'm sure you're going to laugh me out of the office, but please hear me out. Margaret says, are you actually real? And Eglantine's like, yes, I'm real. And she's like, oh, right.
Prove it.
Oh, right. Because I've smoked quite a lot of opium. And she's like, yes, Margaret. And then she's like, so am I right in thinking that wasn't like a vision, you riding in on your brother with 1,000 rats flying you to my doorstep? And she's like, no, that happened. And she's like, well, girl, you got yourself a job.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
Right.
So she lets you show she's like.
And this entire conversation is happening while they're both on the floor.
No, Margaret's in a chair on the floor like that, and Eggy's like straddled,
Right.
like on top of her.
Yeah.
And just remind us of that last line because we've got to wrap it up in like
So the last
a minute
line
or two.
is, the doctor said it will never grow back.
Okay, so
Okay.
let's fast forward. Eggy gets the story
Eggy
printed
gets the story printed
first.
it's out there. She's got all this evidence to show that rats are actually friends. You can train them. They can make food for you. The reason why she knows all this is because her brother lost all his legs and she couldn't stay in because she wanted to make a career of being a journalist. So she took a chance, trained a bunch of rats up, and they cook, they clean, and her brother has not ever become ill.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then Humphrey's like, yeah, but where is your brother? Because where is he?
Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah. And so that's a big problem because obviously he's gone into the thing and that was the evidence. So it's on the same day, so it's get printed on the same day because like news travels fast. And then but Humphrey comes to the Gazette and he's like, where's your evidence? I want to see this brother. And then Eglantine's like, well, he plunged into the river. I don't know. I haven't seen him all day.
And is he on his knees jet skiing down the Thames with rats like.
Yeah. Well, this is what. So Margaret Huff's assistant goes, "Look outside," and they turn.
Look outside.
So they all go, "What?" And he's like, "Outside on the river." And they look, and Luke's there being pulled along by these 1,000 rats. And it's like, then the chorus of people start singing like, "Oh." The lollipop lady's there. She turns her back. And they managed to fly back in.
Well, it's just a ramp.
She's turned into a ramp. They fly back in to the Margaret Huff's office. So there's Humphrey, Margaret, Eglantine, the boy shouting, "Look outside," and Luke, and all these rats. And Humphrey's absolutely dumbstruck. Yeah. And he looks at Luke and he's like, "How are you still alive?" Luke's legs are, flopping about.
Soggy.
Yeah,
they're soggy with blood.
They're in bits.
What if, as punishment and as revenge, the rats gnaw away at the bollocks of Humphrey, right? Completely devour his sack, right? He's got 1,000 rats as he's on the floor.
Well, he's got marshmallows around there.
Yeah.
It's a good point. He does have marshmallows around there.
And the rats are battering him. Right? Just
I like that, yeah.
Go into town. Obviously, as revenge, because we're not all bad. You're just bad. He survives. Obviously, we don't want to die, but he's got.
Yeah,
no,
100% Harry.
no
He's
sense.
bollockless. So he contacts his doctor.
Yeah.
And he's like,
"It will never grow back."
I think we can finish it there.
Yeah.
Fantastic, Clementine. Absolutely brilliant. Enjoy it.
I loved it.
Definitely wild, yeah.
I cry with laughter. It's the first episode that's happened.
Let's give ourselves a minute or two just to have a break, and then we'll come back and we will chat about what we'll call it, who we'll cast, and songs to go with. Happy?
Sweet.
Happy.
Just a little bit.
Fantastic. So, what a great story. Thank you very much, Clem. Enjoy it, Clem.
Yeah.
What was your favourite part?
Laughing.
Any particular part of the story?
It's a bit weird because I'm saying the favourite bit of my story.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Okay, the bit where the rats are flying through the air.
Yeah, I like that.
And the brother tells Eglantine to sacrifice his leg loop in order to get through the window.
That was very funny.
It's a strong image.
Yeah. I mean, it's got everything, rats, pathos, comedy, danger.
Yeah, it's also a period drama as well, which
Yeah.
TV's screaming out for at the moment.
Well, there you go.
People love Peaky Blinders. This could be the new one.
So, who would we cast for the... Well, what are we even calling this? What are we calling the film or the story?
The story is called The Rat Race, an Eggy Muff Story.
Beautiful.
Nice. So it's like this character we might be seeing again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought of that on the
spot.
Just then.
Yeah.
Well, you're creative, aren't you? That's why.
I'm a creative mind.
You've literally just pulled a story out of nowhere. Which...
It's no big deal.
I can see your next Edinburgh show.
yeah. 1,000 rats. As you whisk your way into the
5 minute turnaround.
I mean, that would sell tickets.
Yeah.
Oh, it would.
If anything.
So that's the title. And who's going to be playing old Eggy Muff?
Tilda Swinton.
Great shout.
She's in everything.
Yeah, Narnia.
She's the muse of I want to say Italian director. Don't come for me. But she's does a lot of kind of independent movies. I think she speaks Italian.
She's quite scary looking, I think.
I think she's amazing looking.
The Ice Queen in Lion and Witch of the Wardrobe. She's for scare me death in that.
She's quite intimidating as a...
I can imagine her having a
presence.
presence.
Yeah.
She's good for this character, obviously, being there.
Yeah, she's great. I mean, she's great.
The brother, Leukentine, who's...
Tim Key.
Yeah. You can imagine him with his legs blown off, being
He's
rolled.
the comic relief.
Yeah.
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 He's the comic relief.
He's the comic relief. And I feel like Tilda Swinton and Tim Key haven't worked together as far as I'm aware.
They'd be a great pair.
I think that they would kind of look so weird that it would work.
You could imagine Tim Key playing James McAvoy's character, the Fawn, in Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, and him doing a good job at it. I can see the chemistry.
That's so true. I could definitely see that.
Yeah. And then who will be playing Humphrey, obviously? Who's Humphrey played by?
Christopher Eccleston.
Right. Yeah.
He needs, you need that kind of bit sexy, but definitely a dick. But they'd have to probably do some kind of CGI to make him quite short.
He's a tall man.
Yeah. So they'd probably have to do that, which I'm here for. We've
got the budget.
Well, do whatever you want. Yeah,
I'm here for that.
1,000 rats flying through the sky. You can do whatever you want.
Exactly. And you've got a horse on a cart pulled by a horse. So
yeah.
And then there's another cart and a horse in there as well.
And
It was like a wedding cake when he was tiered.
Yeah. He's not messing about, Humphrey Duplex.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
And then final character, Mary Huff, who's she played by?
Miriam Margolyes.
Got
to be Miriam Margolyes.
Oh, that's good cast. That's
Yeah. It's visually on screen interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see those people in a poster and you say yes.
It's another all British cast.
Yeah, so Oscar winner, I reckon.
Big time.
Yeah.
Definitely a BAFTA.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
I'd probably put myself in it.
Yeah.
Like a Quentin Tarantino kind of like cameo. I'd probably be the kid shouting, "It's over there!
Yeah.
It's outside! Look outside!"
Well, you did it so well, so why wouldn't you do that?
Thank
Do you not want to be the lollipop lady?
I don't think Clem
Where your
could
face just dropped
Yeah.
there.
No, she wants to be
I
the
don't
boy.
I feel like the lollipop lady is actually a great character, to be fair.
Yeah, I think so.
But she's a ramp, and I can't see you being a
She
ramp.
is a ramp.
Yeah.
I can imagine her being played by Miss Trunchbull.
Yeah. I feel like the lollipop lady would be, if Quentin Tarantino was casting himself, he probably would put himself as a lollipop lady, wouldn't he? So I gotta do that.
You could do both.
QT. Yeah, I could do both.
I think I could play the lollipop lady.
Yeah, you could play the
I
lollipop
think
lady,
I'd be
Ben.
good for the ramp. I'd make a good ramp.
Yeah, a rat. You need. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll show you after. Brad your car for me.
And then finally, we've got our cast. What is the soundtrack to the trailer of this movie story?
So the soundtrack to the trailer is "China in My Hand."
China in Your Hand by Tapao. We haven't previously discussed these in the break at all.
Yeah, so that's the song.
Why is it that song?
I feel like the tempo of the song lends itself to a slow motion action replay, which would work
Of the rat race.
for the rat race,
Yeah.
which would just work perfectly, and then there's a crescendo which would just slot very nicely when Luke's legs get pulled apart and they're flying through the air. There's just an amazing kind of.
I could see it.
Yeah, it's all there. It's a full package.
It would be quite an emotional scene, that as well.
Quite emotional.
It'd be a bit of a knee jerk.
Yeah, it'd be a knee jerk.
I think that was knee jerk. Yeah,
nice. I like. Very clever.
Yeah. Come on.
Keep up.
I'm trying to think on my feet here. Come on, 2 for 2.
No,
I'm 2
it's
for 2.
great. It's great. It is good.
Thank you so much for coming on, Clem.
Yeah.
Oh, you're welcome. I've had the best time.
Is there anything that you would like to plug?
I guess just my show in Edinburgh, Please Love Me, is probably the only thing that fucking hell.
I think that's what a lot of people in Edinburgh will be doing.
Yeah.
Please love me.
Well, yeah, exactly.
And where can they find it online? Is there a Please Love Me page, or do they follow the Skank page?
The best person to follow would be myself for now, at Clementine Bogg-Hargroves on Instagram. But in terms of tickets, just go to Pleasance and type in Please Love Me.
Well, Clem, thank you very much for coming on.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for watching and listening. Obviously, as you know, you can get involved with the pod on future episodes by sending in future lines. Just get in touch with us at AllMadeUp pod, and we'll read them out on future episodes. And also, if you've enjoyed it, go and tell someone. Like it makes a massive difference. Please share it, like it, and just spread the love. Thank you very much.
I'll tell someone.
You'll tell someone. Yeah, amazing. I mean, I'll tell you.
So thank you, Clem. That was All Made Up with Clementine Bogg-Hargroves. Thanks for listening and thanks for watching. Bye bye.
It's all